What happens when a successful businessman walks into his own company dressed as an ordinary customer, only to discover his employees are running a scheme that would make his blood boil? This story will leave you questioning everything you think you know about corporate integrity. Hey Story Phil's family. Before we dive into this incredible tale of justice and corporate accountability, drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from around the world. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we bring you the most compelling stories of underdogs fighting back against injustice. Marcus Wellington had built his automotive empire from the ground up, but success hadn't changed his core values. Unlike other CEOs who loved the spotlight, Marcus preferred staying behind the scenes. Most of his employees wouldn't recognize him if he walked past them on the street, and that anonymity was about to become his greatest weapon. For weeks, disturbing reports had been trickling into corporate headquarters. Customers complained about inflated prices, questionable financing terms, and a pattern that seemed too calculated to be coincidental. Certain buyers were consistently charged more than others, and Marcus couldn't ignore the uncomfortable truth emerging from these complaints. On a sweltering Saturday afternoon, Marcus parked his modest sedan outside his own Dallas dealership. No company car, no entourage, just a man in jeans and a polo shirt ready to see what happened when his employees thought no one was watching. The moment he stepped through those glass doors, the familiar smell of new leather and engine oil hit him. But something else lingered in the air, a tension he hadn't noticed during his official visits. The sales associate at the front desk, a young man named David, greeted him with a practiced smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Looking for something specific today?" David asked, already sizing him up. Marcus kept his response casual. "Just browsing. Maybe something reliable for daily driving." Within minutes, Marcus was introduced to Rick Stevens, the sales manager whose confidence bordered on arrogance. Rick's approach was smooth, almost too smooth, like someone who had perfected the art of manipulation through years of practice. "Trust me," Rick said, leading Marcus to a silver sedan, "once we get you into our financing program, you'll wonder why you waited so long to buy from us." The rushed sales pitch raised Marcus's first red flag. No questions about his budget, his needs, or his preferences. Just straight to the financing discussion before he'd even sat in a car. During the test drive, Rick's casual comments painted a disturbing picture. References to special programs for certain customers, mentions of risk categories, and thinly veiled suggestions about who qualified for premium treatment versus standard packages. Back in the showroom, Marcus observed the other customers. A young black professional struggled with financing terms that seemed unnecessarily complex. A Latino family whispered urgently about rates that had mysteriously increased since their phone conversation. Meanwhile, an older white gentleman chatted easily with his salesperson, apparently facing none of these complications. When Rick finally presented the official contract, Marcus felt his stomach drop. Buried in the fine print were terms that made his worst fears reality: demographic adjustment fees, tier-based risk premiums, and most damning of all, a simple checkbox marked "Demographic Adjustment Applied." "What exactly does this mean?" Marcus asked, pointing to the discriminatory language. Rick's explanation was a masterclass in corporate doublespeak. "It's just business," he said. "Different customer profiles fall into different risk categories. The computers calculate it all automatically." But Marcus knew better. These weren't computer algorithms, they were human decisions designed to extract more money from customers based on their race and background. David, the young sales associate, shifted uncomfortably throughout the conversation. His nervous glances and hesitant responses suggested he knew something was wrong but felt powerless to change it. When Marcus pressed harder about the discriminatory practices, Rick's mask finally slipped. "Look, if you want the car, these are the terms. If not, there are plenty of other customers who'll take it." That's when Marcus decided the charade had gone far enough. "Do you have any idea who I am?" Marcus asked quietly. Rick's smirk was infuriating. Another customer trying to negotiate a better deal. happens every day. I'm Marcus Wellington, he said, his voice cutting through the showroom chatter. This dealership belongs to me. Every contract, every policy, every discriminatory practice happening under this roof, it all carries my name. The silence that followed was deafening. Rick's face went pale, David's eyes widened in shock, and customers throughout the showroom turned to witness the unfolding drama. What happened next was swift and decisive. Marcus didn't just fire Rick, he made sure everyone in the building understood that the discriminatory practices would end immediately. He publicly apologized to the customers who had been targeted and promised comprehensive reforms. 2 days later, Marcus called an emergency meeting with his entire executive team. The message was clear: integrity wasn't negotiable, and anyone unwilling to embrace that standard would find themselves looking for new employment. This story isn't just about one CEO cleaning house. It's about the courage to confront systemic problems, even when they exist in your own organization. Marcus could have quietly handled the situation behind closed doors, but instead, he chose transparency and accountability. Sometimes the most powerful person in the room is the one with the courage to ask uncomfortable questions and demand real answers. Marcus Wellington proved that true leadership means standing up for what's right, even when it costs you money. What do you think about Marcus's approach? Would you have handled it differently? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories of justice prevailing against the odds.